Really?
Excuse me?
What do we got?
Uh-oh, it's in another box.
Oh yeah. We know what that is. Maybe.
Looks like carburetor parts.
Not just parts.
Oh, hey, look, a new carburetor, guys.
Yep, and it's an actual Weber, not a knockoff. So it's made this kit is made just for our Jeep. And a Chevy S10 as well.
Yes.
But this should bolt on and should be fairly closely tuned to what we need.
Yep.
Before we swap this axle in, I want to get the motor running better, at least as best as I possibly can. That way, when I get the axle in and the different gears, I know that any changes are axle related, gear ratio improvements. Right now, if I romp on the gas or come off the gas quickly, this thing kind of wants to die. You can tell the carburetor's not in that great a shape. We've got zip ties holding this thing together. It's missing parts. So I'm sure it's got vacuum leaks. The chokes don't work. So I want to resolve all of that before I swap the axle in. That way I know I'm dealing with axle changes, not carburetor and or axle changes. So what we're doing is we're going to try to put this sucker on there. We have a Weber synchronous carburetor, the 38DGAS. So both barrels operate simultaneously when you use it. Not progressive. So we're gonna see what we can do. I put a progressive one on my, what was it, 1989 YJ. That was carbureted. Made a huge difference. That totally made that Jeep drivable. So anyways, hopefully we have just as much success with this guy here. First thing I'm gonna do before changing out this carburetor is readjust my fuel pressure. These Rochesters, depending on where you look on the internet, anywhere from 4 to 7 PSI is what they're supposed to have on that little gauge. But this one is so bad at 4 PSI, it starts leaking gas and out of the carburetor onto the engine and floods. So I had to turn it down to 3 just to get this thing to run and not spew gas everywhere. The Webers, on the other hand, are very particular. They're very clear, 2 to 2.5. So I gotta turn this thing down, even though I've only got it at 3, before I even take this one off and try putting that Weber on. So let's do that first. All right, so we go key on. Oh, I'll tell you about those later. And this is that maintenance mode I was telling you about. We go, that center off, we go up. And that turns on our pump, as you can hear in the background. Now we can set our pressure. All right, I'll lock that down and see how we are. All right, we got the old carburetor off, and now is your chance to look at anything else, like maybe make sure your unused vacuum lines are well plugged off, do some inspections. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these things down. These are stupid. They're to hold vacuum hoses, wires, whatever. Obviously not used anymore, but right now they're so long you can't even get a deep socket on them. So I'm gonna take care of these while I'm here to save myself some headache in the future. As my wife would say, ain't that pretty? Look at that, there she is. Okay, I got one more thing to do. I need to add a keyed ignition source for the electric choke, which is really just a timing device, but that's gonna save us from, at least tuning the carburetor, from having to try to block that choke open while we tune this thing. So I'll just turn the key on, that'll open up, and we can start our tuning. That fridge just turned on right now.
Go.
All right, so it's in. There's still a little bit of hesitation on just at first under like heavy acceleration. If I just gun it, especially in high range, it wants to stall and hesitate. Low range, not so bad, really not so noticeable, but it's still there, so that needs to be tuned out. But it's in, it runs. Here's something kind of funny. The kit says you can use your factory air cleaner with a little bit of modification, so I did that, and it works, but you gotta flip the lid upside down. So it's kind of funny. You flip the lid upside down, and there's a gap there, but it's still going through the air filter. Anyways, a goofy thing, but it works, and I'm gonna have Macy start it and show you just how well it starts. It's coming. Wow, that thing's running way better now. Not perfect, but good enough to run, and even if I don't get a chance to tune it between now and the Beast Wars, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'd love to tune it some, but we'll have to do that. So anyways, I got Macy out there running around, and it is good to see her go. So she's just breaking it in, see how it runs, see if any issues come up, burn some gas. And the weather's absolutely nasty, but I don't think she cares. I'll show you guys.
some, I think.
and that is with the minivan wheels.
Today's video was filmed by Miss Macy.
Hi!
If you think she did a good job, why don't you buy her a coffee? Link is in the description below. I'm going broke buying coffee for this kid. Help me out.